we see the door slowly close and a figure slip in that Nyx does not notice. Looming above Nyx is a figure in bone white plate mail armor with a black cloak. The figure extends a hand. Nyx, you feel the hairs on your neck stand up on end, and a sudden feeling of dread washes over you. But nothing happens. And suddenly you feel a spell take place and try and rip you away. For a moment, you see another plane of existence, and then you pull yourself here. You feel yourself in the present, and it flickers away, and you feel the magic wash off you.
I am just gonna Kool-Aid Man through Phoenix's wall. Wakey, wakey, it's time for bakey.
Nyx, you leap forward. As you do, you swing your hammers in a flurry and crush the Death Knight's helmet and presumably the skull inside. And as you spin, black water appears to whirl out of the air. It becomes apparent that this is water from the ocean at night. You see the moon and stars reflected on its surface as this black water roils around you, Nyx, and collides with this headless knight, pushing him all the way through the window, shattering it.
I prop my hammer back on my shoulder, doing the over-the-shoulder look to my fellow party members. Rough night?
When we last left off, Dame Gale, Lady Dula, Sir Phoenix, and Sir Nyx had just defeated the Death Knight that was attempting to assassinate them. While this was happening, the other knights of the Inner Circle, along with High Prince Kamael, were able to get the attack on the castle under control and pretty quickly removed the enemy threat without any survivors, unfortunately. Kamael wanted to take a prisoner and question them, but it wasn't in the cards. It looked like they were mostly undead and other, constructed fiends, and so there wasn't anyone alive to take prisoner, unfortunately.
Odd.
Yeah, exactly. After searching the castle and making sure that everything was okay, Kamael came to you all, assured you all that he would get the guards and lower knights to start patrolling and begin fixing up the castle quickly, and urged you all to finish your rest. You can tell me if you went and finished your long rest or not, but that option was available to you.
Oh, absolutely not.
I'm gonna say Phoenix did, but had to go to a different room because Nyx barreled a hole in mine.
So sorry about that. You know how it is.
I used a lot of spell slots, so I would like to finish my long rest. However, I do have a question.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a roll or if it'll just be a question that you might be able to answer that we might know of. Do we know anyone who works in necromancy?
Not personally.
Know of anyone who works in necromancy?
Anyone. You've definitely fought necromancers and things before, but I don't think you know any big name necromancers that are still alive.
Or in this area.
In Libitina today.
Yeah.
Or in this area. Necromancy is considered chaotic magic and is therefore highly illegal and policed by Libitina. Necromancy is not allowed.
All right. Well, that's what Gale thinks about as she tries to sleep.
Yeah.
And that gets me back on my spell slots, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. If you take the long rest.
Yeah. I know it was an interrupted long rest. I just wanted to make sure.
I'm gonna say you guys were able to take that full 8 hours at least.
Okay.
I just realized, actually, I think I am going to take a long rest because I'm messed up.
You got messed up pretty bad.
I got messed up pretty bad.
Oh, yeah, and health.
I will say, there is a ton of clerics and paladins here, so you all also would have been able to get medical aid.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I will say, Riley, I know we each have a designed room for us. Mine got trashed real quick, so where the hell did I go?
There's just a hole in your wall. It's no big deal.
You could sleep with Gale.
You are in the biggest city on this continent, this castle is the seat of power for probably this entire continent, maybe the world. This palace has ambassador rooms that are extremely nice and available that you could go to.
So I could just take a random ambassador's room?
Yeah, Kamael would have been happy to show you to an ambassador room and be like, no one is using this. Feel free to get access to this suite.
I will say Phoenix was very glad in the armor with Kamael. Just like, okay, I'm a mess.
Yeah. And also Luminous would have stopped by and been like, don't worry, everyone. I will keep an arcane eye on the situation while I investigate.
Maybe I don't get sleep then.
And then there's a burst of purple flame, and then there were two Luminuses standing in front of you all.
Oh,
Oh boy, he knows simulacrum.
Of course I know simulacrum. I know every spell.
I should have guessed.
You will investigate the various spells that were cast and how they pass through our arcane protections. And I will use clairvoyance to scry over the palace for any... Oh, he's already left. Anyway, point is, feel free to rest and feel safe under my watchful eyes.
Okay.
And then he just kind of stops talking and just freezes.
You good, buddy?
Any interaction with him at this point is no longer acknowledged or received, as it appears he's left his body to do whatever he's doing.
Just right there?
Just right there in the hallway where he was talking to you all. And so you all went to sleep, or at least to your rooms, and got what rest you could.
Yes, Dula will be resting as well.
In the morning, when you wake up, it is impossible to tell that this castle was under attack last night. Teams of clerics using stone shape and various mages and things have pretty much repaired the entire palace to pretty much how it looked before. If some of the walls look a little funky because suddenly they're smooth instead of brick. And the arcane protections have already been replaced. And if it weren't for the fact that you knew this place was under attack last night, it would be impossible to tell. Except for, some weird little architecture things that aren't quite right.
Valid. Weird. I imagine Phoenix, while not admitting to it, definitely gets a little lost because this is not a part of the castle they are used to.
Yeah, absolutely. It takes you a bit, but, Phoenix, you finally make your way to the banquet hall, where a similarly large feast has been set up, and Kamael and his wife Philia are sitting there. Sabermore, Hallister, and Caspian are also already eating. Dula, Gale, and Nyx, do you go down for breakfast?
Yes. And I'm super, despite the fact that I didn't get very much sleep last night, I feel like I did get sleep, but not very much. I am super pumped up and hyped riding on a high from last night.
Yeah.
From barreling into a wall.
Yes.
Well,
not that part particularly.
I mean, that was pretty damn cool. I would be hyped up about that. That was some pretty damn cool.
Yeah, that was solid stone.
Nyx wakes up and is just it's a little drafty in here. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
The hole through the wall would have been repaired.
Oh, okay.
Phoenix just doesn't like when people doesn't like the idea of people being in there when they're sleeping.
Oh. Additionally, any rubble that was displaced last night from the castle has been gathered up, and some of it has been used to replace bits and pieces of the castle, and the remaining rubble has been stone-shaped into a new statue. Just made into a little shrine to Godric, no, you don't understand. We were always going to do something with this marble. We needed to put in this thing. Don't worry about it. So, there is no rubble evidence either.
I will say Phoenix, seeing Kamael and his wife and being a little bit late, just definitely kind of has a very apathetic look and kind of sits.
This is I think the first time we've seen Philia on screen.
Yes.
Okay, so let me just High Princess Philia Aspasia. She is from the noble she's from the Aspasia noble house, which is an orcish family that runs Lilymont and is in charge of Libatina's navy. Their family words are grace and elegance, and they really take that to heart. So they are all about, beauty and comporting themselves well and putting up this very elegant and graceful front. Or just being very elegant and graceful. I shouldn't say if it's a front or not. Maybe they're actually just that. Philia is no exception to this. She is a beautiful orcish woman who is roughly somewhere between 6 and 7 feet tall, with thick, long, curly, brownish black hair that goes down quite a ways, but you can see that it has been attended to very lovingly by some sort of staff of handmaidens. And so there are various lilies representing her home woven into her hair. Additionally, she's wearing a very fine white dress that has pearls and diamonds inlaid into it. So you all come down for breakfast and join Kamael and Philia.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. And Nyx is having a lot of food and having a great time.
Yeah. The last person in probably is Phoenix, who's guided in by a squire of some sort and shown to their
because
seat.
The thing is, Phoenix would not do that.
Phoenix would never admit to it, so the reason why you're late is because you didn't get help.
Exactly, that's why.
Great, wonderful.
So Phoenix is there, and that's why I said Phoenix has the apathetic, because Phoenix excuse is training. That is absolutely, if anyone asks, that's what Phoenix is gonna say.
Yeah, I was training. Yeah. So you all sit down, you start having this breakfast feast. Everyone seems a little tense after last night.
Yeah.
Until Kamael kind of breaks the ice and goes, we're really going to miss you during the celebrations of Crown Day today, but I hope you understand that plans have not changed. Last night obviously was quite a shock and was concerning, but again, it is nothing that we cannot handle, just with the staff here.
And I'm sure you guys are going to do a great job, honestly. And I'm just sitting here I'm the only person I'm assuming that's probably having a cheery mood right now.
Yeah,
I think Lady Dula would be pretty cheery. If only for the appearance of keeping everyone else's hopes up.
Yeah.
Kamael frowns and he goes, admittedly, the attention to my knight's life is extremely concerning. It could have we don't know what the situation is. I've been assured by Luminous number 2 that he is hot on the trail investigating the situation. And Sabermore, Hallister, and Caspian are here for added security for this very reason. So, I believe we should be covered on all fronts, and once this day is done and the festivities are handled, you have my word that I'll be launching a full investigation. And I will be contacting the various temples nearby to speak with clerics and many monks to get them involved as well. He's kind of pausing and stuttering, he seems kind of he doesn't know what's happened, so he's a little confused and a little anxious.
I mean, people attacked his house last night, undead people. I also would be
Dula kind of reaches over and pats him on the hand and is I would expect nothing less from you, dearie.
Thank you. Luminous said that he would do his best to teleport you all to Larkwood. So, once you're done eating and you're ready to head out, I think it'd maybe be best if you spoke to Luminous about heading out as quickly as possible.
Well, who knows? Maybe if we're able to finish our work there quickly, we'll be able to make it back in time.
That would be wonderful. If you all could catch the tail ends of these celebrations, that would make me very happy.
As would make me admit a fuck word.
Yeah, no, I'm also struggling.
I completely forgot Gail's voice and just took a guess.
As it would make me happy too. And it would make me happy too. Jesus.
It's okay.
I quit. I'm bye. Nix just falls on the ground and dies. No, I'm just kidding.
No!
Arwell descends from the sky, picks up Nyx, and then goes to the bottom of the ocean.
I have been chosen.
By the way, did we decide, how does Arwell appear to you, Nyx?
I don't think we did decide.
I know we determined that you mostly worship Arwell's aspect as the god of night over the god of water, but
I'm very much a boat person though.
No, other way around. It's very much Arwell's aspect as god of water, not god of night. My apologies. But did we say if worship Arwell as like gods in this world are like gender fluid and have multiple pronouns depending on their followers? Do you have a preference for Arwell?
I think maybe she, her pronouns.
Okay. Perfect.
I like to think of I like to think of the moon as like femme for some.
Yeah.
A lot of people like to think of the moon as
It's
femme.
definitely not
Last
Last Airbender.
Airbender. But
I didn't even think about that.
But like,
It's just general culture things normally.
Chinese mythology, Greek mythology, Roman mythology, Japanese mythology.
Basically, anytime there's a story about the sun and the moon, the sun is male, the moon is female.
Mainly, probably because of the more gentler light versus the bright light stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Also, I kind of find it funny that like Nyx is a little bit more in tune with the water part rather than the night part, given that Nyx in Greek mythology is the incarnate of night.
Yeah, that is kind of funny. But yeah, just to recap without the stumbling, the attack last night was covered up pretty well by the castle staff. Luminous is investigating who is behind it, but Kamael still wants you to proceed with your quest and go look into what's going on in Larkwood and hopefully rescue his sister and the two other knights. And has basically assured you that that this is exactly why he's called Sabermore, Hallister, and Caspian here, to be that additional security while you guys leave.
Gail has a question.
Sure, fire away.
Do you think this attack had anything to do with Larkwood, or do you think it's something different?
It would be quite a coincidence if it wasn't connected. Kamael kind of points that out and leans back, and goes, I have to imagine that there is some sort of connection, though I don't understand what it would be. But the fact that they singled you three out specifically, the knights that I personally chose to deal with the Larkwood situation, is troubling. You would think when a group makes an attack on a castle, they would go for, well, the High Prince, or Lord forbid, the High Princess, and he squeezes Philia's hand, and she smiles and kind of shrugs and goes, but that wasn't the case. You three were sought after specifically.
You see, my theory is that they tried to kill us in our sleep, thinking that we can't defend ourselves when we're asleep. But me and my insomniac ass, I was out here ready to frickin' rumble.
Yes. Philia laughs and goes, I suppose that must have been their train of thought, yes.
No kidding. And Phoenix is very pointedly not looking at anyone, and you can see though there is a little smile on their face, and goes, no kidding, you barreled into my room thinking I was asleep.
Well, I mean, I didn't want you to die, so I'm sorry.
No one died.
One died, so I would consider that a win.
We are knights. When we are challenged, we do not stand down. So it would be quite out of character for us to call off the Larkwood mission now. I hope you all agree.
Gil nods.
And Phoenix finally looks up and goes, I followed you for 2 years into a war. You think something like a little attack at night's gonna stop me?
Not at all. I have far too much faith in you all for that kind of thinking.
Well, then let's get this show on the road so we can get there, get back, and not have to worry about it anymore.
Dula leans over and is like, well, just in case we are late on returning and we happen to miss all the festivities, I did bring this small gift for you. And she hands the high priest a little box.
Do you mean the High Prince?
High Prince. Sorry.
Yeah, okay. Kamael smiles and goes, oh, Lady Dula, you shouldn't have. And he and Philia take it, they open it up. What's in the box?
So inside is a little, like, a little knitted, like, quilt sort of thing. Not so much like a blanket, but just I guess like a decorative little banner. Showing some of, like, maybe some, like, abstracted references to their adventures.
Oh, is it like one of those little end pieces that you put at the end of the bed?
Sure, or like something you might put on a mantle.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like a little story quilt of the campaign that we didn't play. Oh. This is extremely touching. Kamael smiles and goes, well, it's lucky I had gifts prepared for all of you as well.
Oh?
Oh, you really don't need to.
Honestly, Your Highness.
It's the least I could do.
Well, now I feel awkward.
If that's the case, I'll hold on to them, and I'll give them all to you when you get back.
Phoenix doesn't know how to respond, so Phoenix just kind of gives a very curt nod and then stands up and then goes, oh, right, transportation.
Yes!
You mean the thing that always gets me nauseous?
Yes! Teleportation bioluminous. Oh, it's been quite a while since I've been teleported bioluminous.
I know you don't miss it.
Brings back memories, he says with a clenched fist.
And Phoenix goes,
Remember that one time with the Hydra? Oh, I don't know.
Oh boy, do I! And then they continue to reminisce.
Yeah, the Hydra.
Oh, that Hydra.
And then they reminisce till the scene ends. Scene 2. It opens up. You've all found your way. You've all found your way to Liminus. He is standing in the courtyard, and he is licking a rock.
Oh.
What? How does it taste?
Like necromancy.
Hmm.
Darker than any kind I've felt. Well, the second darkest necromancy like I have almost never felt before.
Oh, that's
Well, at
better.
least it's not the worst, I suppose.
Yeah.
I'm not the worst, I would say.
And I mean, I thought you were just looking for like a good earthy taste. I mean, I could recommend some wines for you if you're looking for that. Like,
What does necromancy taste like?
please don't, no.
It tastes like bones. It tastes like bone got on this rock. Would you like to lick it as well?
No.
No, thank you. I'm good.
Okay. More for me.
ah, delicious necromancy.
Luminous, we're here for transportation.
Ah, right. Yes. I have good news and bad news about that.
What's the bad?
There is arcane shielding apparently over Larkwood now, so it is no longer possible for me to teleport you all directly into the town.
Ah, shucks. Well, I guess we should just call the whole thing.
You could drop us off near it.
However, I will be able to teleport you a few miles outside of the town, which, honestly, should be good enough.
Oh, God.
That's fine.
All right, I guess it's back on.
Wait.
Aim left to where they don't want you to go.
Luminous,
Yes.
look at me in the eye. Tell me that we're going to be landing.
You know I can't do that. My eyes are purple pools of arcane energy. I don't have pupils anymore. I could be looking anywhere.
I know that. I'm saying look at me and tell me we're going to land on ground this time and not in water.
Or a Hydra.
Or Hydra.
And there, we've answered the question of what was that?
We did it!
What were they talking about?
He goes, you know I can't do that.
Luminous, no.
I will, however, do my best.
Luminous!
It's not how the teleport spell works, I'm sorry.
As long as we just don't appear halfway in the earth, I think we'll be fine.
I would prefer not. I would prefer being halfway in the earth than in water.
I don't think there should be water involved. I'm pretty sure I should be teleporting you to, towards where you need to be at least.
Listen, you've teleported us in so many areas that have been intentionally not there. I don't say I have the biggest faith of you being directly. You've teleported us on a Hydra. I think that says all we need to know.
I am, one might say, casually familiar with Larkwood. There's only a 33% chance that it goes badly.
That's still more than... That's a bad... And you just see Phoenix.
You know what? I'll take it, because those odds are better than the odds that I could teleport us to Larkwood, so...
Exactly! I'm about to fire you across the nation, and I don't get any thanks at all. Thank you, Nyx.
Well, thank you very much.
Magic! And then he throws his hands down and there's a purple explosion.
Listen.
Hey, he did it!
Oh no.
Oh, no.
It was up to a dice roll.
It's literally how the spell teleport works.
Oh no.
I'm not making things up. There's a table. If you pull up the spell teleport, there is a table involved.
Oh boy.
He did it. He sent you there. There's no mishap. There's no nothing.
Nice.
Okay.
I did roll for Gale throwing up and I got a 3.
I'm also gonna roll because I've had...
Gale throws up.
Oh.
I'm gonna roll to do a flip. I got 15. Do
Nice.
I do a flip?
Yeah, you do a flip.
You land. You do a backflip.
Hell yes.
Dula passes out some digestive cookies.
Oh, Phoenix, if you think a 3's bad, I rolled a 2.
Incredible.
Phoenix,
So,
I mean, I didn't add my con, so I guess a 6.
in a flash of purple arcane energy, you are all whisked away from this courtyard and teleported to an area generally outside of Larkwood.
the moment we land, Phoenix just drops to their, just kind of stumbles off and the nearest bush, just the nearest bush, you hear, just some hurling, holding back their own hair with one hand.
Just like the good old days.
Yeah, no, that would be it. That honestly would.
Honestly, it is a little nostalgic.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, man.
It's been a while since you've been arcanely fired across the plane.
And I get sick every time.
And you get sick every time.
Yeah.
I have a +1 to con. You cannot tell me. I have a
+3.
+1.
I have +2.
So, you've been teleported outside of Larkwood. You all arrive in Corinda's Sacred Forest, which is a massive, massive enchanted forest on the very edge of Libatina's territory. If you guys pull up the map, you can see it up in the top end, the top left end of Libatina, where it literally hits right up against the Mount Sebastia mountain range, which these two, where the Corinda Forest and the Sebastia mountain range meet, that is the border between the Libatina and the Refuge, which is its neighboring nation. Larkwood is inside of this forest.
And we don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure I would know this area pretty well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Should I... Do you want to tell them about Larkwood?
I'm gonna be honest, I forgot to look at the stuff you sent about it.
It's totally okay.
But I have it pulled up right here, and I've been, like, skim reading it, so...
So, once you guys arrive in Corinda's forest, which is this massive enchanted forest here, like fairy tale, like, thick, massive redwoods that just go up forever, like, people, if you're not careful, you will go into this forest and disappear because you, like, bumped into some sort of magical monster or fairy or something like that. Larkwood is one of the towns built inside of the Corinda's forest, right at the edge towards where the border is. It's literally right on the border where the mountain range and the forest meet. Larkwood is a large lumber mill town. It is, I want to say, the second biggest town in the forest, besides Nye. Yeah, besides Nye. And we're not counting Melis, because Melis is technically outside of it. But Larkwood is this massive lumber mill town built inside of the forest, and basically what they do is they safely chop down trees and provide that lumber to both Refuge, which is used to build Refuge's skyships, and also to Libitina, which is used for all sorts of building and things, everything lumber is made for.
Mm-hmm.
It has about 3 lumber mills inside of it. It's pretty big. It's the second town. And they're one of the few people that have figured out how to safely, cut down trees in Corinda's forest without, occurring the wrath of Corinda, obviously, because this is their sacred forest.
I will say, when Phoenix realizes in Corinda's forest, Phoenix just goes, "Oh, this was a bad idea. Why did I say yes?"
I will say, Phoenix, due to your particular patron, the second you step foot in here, and I'm sure you've been in here before, you feel incredibly uncomfortable.
At least the Godric part makes it a little better than before.
Yeah. But you pray to the evil twin of Corinda, and now you're in Corinda's sacred forest, so you just have this sensation that just, like, eyes are boring holes in you. Like you feel you are being watched by just hundreds of things, even though when you look around, there's nothing there.
Yeah, and I will say, Phoenix's reason is very, very much an understandable one. Still very uncomfortable for Phoenix to just be there. It's like, this was a bad idea. I shouldn't have done this. But it feels better than the time before when they weren't following Godric as well.
Yeah, it's probably not as bad as last time you were here, but it's still, you feel pretty uncomfortable. Nyx, how do you feel as you start guiding everyone through this massive enchanted forest towards your hometown?
Oh, I am, as we are getting closer and closer, I'm getting more and more nervous about everything, but I am still trying to keep a positive face for everyone, but I'm just, like, internally, there's, like, a little bit of mental lag and stuff, like, my mind is focused on something else, and, like, anxious about something.
Oh, another notable thing about Larkwood is because it is built on the border between Refuge and Libitina, it is one of the few places that has cross-cultural and, like, cross-species mingling between the two nations. So there are races from both Libitina and from Refuge that live inside Larkwood, which largely explains why Nyx, a gnome, is in Libitina, which is generally known for having extremely large races. It also has the largest half-dwarf and half-gnome population in the world.
Nice.
Because it's one of the few places where dwarves and humans are living together happily, making families together.
Mm-hmm.
Good for them.
Yeah. There's also dwarks, which are half-orc, half-dwarves, and
dorks.
Dwarks.
I'm sure there are also dorks there.
There are also
dorks. That is unrelated.
There. Yeah, so.
That's true.
Oh, oof.
I think they're also half dwarf, half gnomes, but I don't have a good name for them yet. But besides that, so you all
Aren't
take
those
like
just
this.
halflings?
No, they're different. They're different. And you all take this hike for a bit, and after
We all discussed this along the hike.
yeah, while you're going, I am at Nyx is sharing information about Larkwood with you all. Though I think maybe you've all been to Larkwood before, since you would have had to pick up Nyx eventually, unless Nyx was adventuring at that point already.
I think Nyx was already adventuring before.
So no one has been to Larkwood besides Nyx. So yeah.
I think. Who would be the closest to me, like amongst the group? Because I would say they probably have been to Larkwood.
That's pretty.
Other than that, no.
It is definitely not Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix lives at the other end of the country.
Yeah, fair. I think that, like, I don't know. I don't know. Someone who's close to me, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot everyone in.
We can say maybe Dula sort of visited.
Yeah, Dula's well traveled and long lived. I bet Dula's been here before.
Yeah, I also didn't want to be like, all right, your guys' characters have been there, like force that upon you.
No, you can always just ask and say, like, does anyone want to have visited Larkwood before?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be my friend?
Well, I rolled a flat 16 for Gale visiting, so I think she's been there like once.
Yeah, I'd say maybe Dula's been through there, but not quite enough to really, like, know the place.
Yeah.
It is one of the largest lumber suppliers for, like, 2 nations, so it probably is important enough that you've maybe been around here before. I
would say probably, like, no one in this group has met my family, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So after about half an hour to an hour of hiking, you come into this large clearing, and when you step through it, you find yourselves on a hill looking over what appears to be Larkwood. Larkwood is about as, like, big as an outpost town can get, and it has been built in 2 kind of stratified layers. Half of the city is on the ground, where, buildings normally are, and the other half is built above it in the trees. You see various rope bridges connecting these massive redwoods, and you see buildings that are built in the branches, and also some trees have been hollowed out and been made into buildings and things. And so Larkwood is kind of like a 2-story entire town, interestingly enough. Though it looks like all the businesses, like the lumber mills and everything, have been placed on the ground, whereas a lot of the living areas have been placed on the second elevated area.
Scale-wise, how comfortable is it for the 2 Cyclops in the group?
Pretty comfortable, I would say, because there's a lot of Libitina people living here. There are orcs and Goliaths and Warforged that all live here, so it does have to be able to accommodate large beings. But also because the other half of the population are dwarves and gnomes and little Kenku. It's probably not as good as it is just in Libitina, like in Crown's Cove, you're accommodated a lot better. But there are still accommodations for people of your size. But now, probably for the first time, there are better accommodations for people of Nyx's size.
Yay!
Because gnomes live here. So
yeah.
You find one of the paths leading into Larkwood, and you start walking down it into town. And as you do, you start seeing more and more religious iconography of Corinda placed around the area. Like, some trees have had part of it carved out and has, like, a small effigy of Corinda carved into it. The effigy looks like a hooded, vague figure. Like, they didn't do anything to kind of establish what race or gender this person was. But they are wearing a kind of a veil over their face that appears to have like stars or constellations scrawled into it. And in one hand, they're holding like a wizard staff, and in the other hand, they're holding a crystal ball. And you see a lot of these depictions placed, there are statues set on side on the road or carved into trees. And, various holy symbols of Corinda are placed kind of all over the place.
I do want to say really quick. So Nyx turns to you guys and says, also, in case we come across my family or a lot of people here, just know that they can be a bit much. Just be ready for that. Yeah. And I'm like visibly starting to like be very nervous.
And Phoenix, in their attempt to be comforting, goes, I don't think anyone can be as much as Luminous.
I will just say real quick, Phoenix, as you are getting closer to this holy place of Corinda and you've started to show less and less recompense, is recompense the right word?
It's not.
I think I used that incorrectly.
Yeah.
Incorrectly?
Phoenix respects Corinda and like her role, but Phoenix doesn't. The whole reason with Mariella is also Phoenix does not like the fact that Mariella is thrown aside when it comes to war, when it is an aspect of it. Phoenix isn't ashamed, but Phoenix is not rude. Phoenix just isn't ashamed.
You're starting to feel where it's almost like there was a degree of apology that needed to be expected from you coming here, and by not showing that level of like apology deference, the awkward like gaze on you is intensifying. And you all make your way into Larkwood. What do you do?
Where was the princess and the knight supposed to go? Like, what were they doing here?
They were doing negotiations and investigating, but besides that, they didn't really say. You assume they went to whatever seat of power Larkwood has.
Okay, so probably want to head there.
Probably.
Anyone else have plans?
I'm going to be very quiet
sounds,
this session.
That sounds good to me.
I will say there's, like, to list some of the things in town, there's the 3 various lumber mills that operate inside, for Larkwood. You also know that, they don't have a mayor per se, but, like, there's the equivalent of, like, the town hall and the mayor's office for, like, the seat of power. There's also, presumably barracks for the City Watch and the Alchemical Knights, which are a branch of people that operate here, which I think only Nyx would really know about. And there are the 3 temples. There is a temple. The largest temple is to the couple, actually, here, which maybe Gale and Dula want to go to. The second biggest is the temple dedicated to Corinda, and then there is a smaller Osmaldus temple here as well.
I think Dula would suggest that they go to the town hall first.
Okay.
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Okay. Would Nyx know the way to that?
Has it changed since I was a kid?
No.
Then I do.
Okay, so yeah, you lead them down to the city hall, which is like a large tree that has been hollowed out. And has been kind of built out of, so there are some wings of the building that are built out and onto the tree and things. But for the most part, it looks like it is all inside of this giant redwood. And as you get closer, you see there is a knight sitting outside of large double doors. They are wearing very bulbous kind of silver and copper armor. They're a shorter figure, somewhere between a human and a dwarf. But they're very like stocky, and their armor is very bulbous. But the thing that sets their armor apart is the fact that it looks kind of high-tech, at least for this world. There are various machine bits that are interwoven into the various joints, and you notice there are vials that are sticking out of the armor that look like they can be in with various multicolored liquids. There's one vial attached per pauldron. That's the word, per pauldron, and then there are 2 more attached to the back. And then their helmet is very round, almost like the Onion Knight from Dark Souls. But like there are these little like tubes of colored liquid that are sticking out of it, and they're just sitting in front of it, and they have like a big halberd that they're holding in one.
It's medieval Bane.
You merely adopted the alchemy. I was born. No, we're not doing that. What do you do?
Go in.
Yeah, just walk up.
So you just walk up towards the doors.
Yes.
I mean, is he particularly blocking our way?
Well, as you get closer, I will say the alchemical knight in the kind of bulbous, stocky armor kind of go, well, wait a moment there. Pardon. I hope you don't mind, but I am going to need your names and stated reason for coming to the town lord. I'm an alchemical knight, you can tell by this little badge I have here. And this figure kind of gets up and kind of shuffles.
It's Korg! It's Korg from Marvel!
I'm not doing a Korg voice.
You are doing a Korg voice.
I'm not doing a Korg voice. I'm sorry it sounds like Korg, but I'm not doing a Korg voice. I'm doing a different voice. I promise I wasn't aiming for New Zealand. I'm sorry if it landed there.
Taika Waititi.
I love it though.
It's great.
Dula speaks up and is like, well, sir, what was it?
Oh, my name's Dame Brooke.
Oh, Dame, sorry.
No, it's hard to tell.
Oh, well, Dame Brooke, I am Lady Dula, and these are my companions.
We are the Knights of the Inner Circle.
Yes, we were sent by... Oh. Yes, we were sent by the High Prince to come and assist your town. We heard that there was some, she kind of, like, lowers her voice and, like, territorial issues that were going on.
Oh, yes, we have been, having some discussions about that. But, yeah, it's not really my place to say, is it? Now, do you have an appointment with the lordship? I'm afraid he's very busy.
We don't have an appointment, but we did have someone who we sent earlier who had an appointment, and we haven't had any news from her, so we were getting a little worried.
Oh? And who might this be then?
What was the name of the princess?
Her full name is Princess Mildred Velgrim Themris.
Yeah, she says that.
Of how... yeah.
Princess Milgram.
Mildred Velgrim Themris. Yeah.
Mildred.
My brain mixed it together.
Milgram.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to remember all of that. Gail says that name.
Well,
and she came with 2 of her knights, and we came to check on them.
Pretty sure I would remember if we got visited by a princess, wouldn't I? But, nope, no princess, so...
So you haven't seen her at all?
Haven't seen a princess. Don't think any princesses made it to town, as far as I'm aware.
Dear.
Haven't seen any other knights besides my own order.
So they didn't even make it, perhaps.
Well, in that case, we better head off. Yeah, everybody, we should probably just go head off and leave them on their merry way.
Oh, wonderful. Well, hail and well met.
I would like to make a insight check.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This is going to be pretty difficult because this half-dwarf woman is wearing a big metal onion over her head. So...
Well, I have a bonus to insight anyways, and I rolled a 19, so that is
Oh.
a 26.
Oh!
Nice.
Your one giant eye just pulses and you just X-ray scan Dame Brooke. Okay, what are you looking for here?
Well, insight, since we mentioned, like, the princess was supposed to come, and we had assumed she had made it, at least, to here. So, I guess trying to check if this knight is honest about having the princess not even arrive in town and sort of thing.
On that insane thing, Lady Dula's been around a long time, and you immediately clock that this knight is, doesn't have any reason to lie to you. This knight has not seen or heard of any princess visiting this town. A princess with a retinue of 2, arch paladins would have been noticed, but for whatever reason, that is not the case here.
Okay.
So for whatever reason, Princess Mildred did not stop by the lordship.
I have an idea. Let me just pull up the spell.
What spell?
I'm not going to do a spell on Brooke. So, I have Speak with Animals.
Okay. I'm excited to hear where this is gonna go.
Gail just kind of, as they're walking away from the town hall, Gail kind of turns to the others and she says, one moment, I will be right back. And she goes off, and you see her just go to the edge of a building, and she looks up, and she kind of waves downward towards herself as she's looking up at the top of the building, and then some pigeons fly down.
Oh my god.
I do want to say, they're probably larks.
Yes,
It's
larks.
the wood of the larks, so of course.
This is Larkwood.
And she just starts talking to them.
Hi! What's up?
Hi. Have you seen anyone special looking, wandering around the woods recently?
Yeah,
Who did you see?
you! You're special
I
looking.
mean, have you ever seen a princess before?
What's a princess?
That's what I thought.
I'm a bird.
What would the princess usually be wearing on a escapade to a city to do government stuff?
Mildred is a little less high femme than Philia, so she probably wouldn't have been wearing a dress out here. But probably would have been wearing signs of her station, at the very least, the house crest of House Themris.
Would she have a crown?
She does have a crown, yes. Well,
Okay.
not like a crown, but a...
Okay. Did you see anyone wear... Would it be gold?
No, it would not be gold.
No. Okay.
It would be silver for her.
Did you see a woman outside of the city wearing a very pretty silver crown on her head with 2 knights, the people in all metal? Did you see anyone like that?
Okay. Have I seen a lady with a metal head, followed by 2 people
Not a metal
that
head.
look like you guys? Hmm?
It would have looked like she had a very delicate silver twig on her head with little branches on it.
Yes, I have seen these silver twigs. I want them.
Well, it's very hard to get them. Did you see where it went?
Maybe?
Oh no, this bird is gonna make a deal.
I will tell you where they went if you will get me the shiny twigs.
Can have someone make a little shiny twig, an actual shiny branch.
Yeah, one moment.
Then they will all be made to witness my splendor. Yes. All the other larks, and the little robins, and the crows, they will look at me and they will say, "What a shiny nest you have!"
I have
Heard
an
my name.
idea. Is there a jewelry shop anywhere around?
In Larkwood?
A what? Sorry?
A jewelry shop.
Side note, I don't know, we didn't establish what my family was, but can it be whatever's convenient?
Sure. I was going to say, this is a big town, but it is a border lumber town, so I don't know if they would have. But you know what? If you want to say that Nyx's family runs a little, jeweler's shop,
There's
Here,
probably like
absolutely.
mines around the city and in the forest. Like it's rich with minerals. You can probably very easily get stuff for that.
But what you have to understand is that mining is illegal.
Oh yeah, because it's
Remember? Because the earth is haunted.
It's based on whatever you happen to find when you're doing the trees.
Yeah. There's a reason why all the dwarves are living in the trees instead of on the ground. Digging is bad now.
Okay, so she takes the bird to a little jeweler shop.
Sure.
Is she allowed to bring the bird in?
What is your name?
My name is Gail, and yours?
Yes, I will tell you my name. It is a beautiful name. I am Lark.
It's very nice to meet you, Lark.
Yes. It is.
So Gail, I don't know if she's allowed to bring in this bird or not, but either way, she goes inside the shop, and if the bird can't come in, she just tells it to wait outside for a moment.
Sure. Nix, what is your family's jewelry shop like?
I would say it's probably, like, if it's, like, the only jewelry shop in a while, from what it sounded like you were saying.
Yeah, I think the nearest major city the nearest major cities are Milas and Nye, which are very big, but also kind of a ways away through an extremely haunted forest.
Yeah, okay. So I would say it's probably, like, pretty popular, and because of that, it might have fewer jewelry there, because it's just people passing through just buy a lot of stuff. So
Totally
I guess maybe it's a little bit of a tourist trap sort of thing.
Yeah.
Thinking about it. Yeah, and also I would say that, like, they also have, like, they definitely have, like, a family photo, like, all over the place. Family photos all over the place.
Oh yeah,
So,
it's one of those.
Yeah,
Family-owned
it's like a
business.
family shop, but it's also a little bit of a tourist trap.
Yeah.
And and as you pull up, I'd imagine they would have a sign being like, "Home of the famous knight."
There's a little painting of you, like, bonking a mermaid with a hammer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gail kind of smiles. She's like, "Oh, cute," and then goes inside.
Are we all going there, or is it just...
I don't see why not. Phoenix isn't gonna
You
bother.
all could be following Gale. Yeah.
She's like, "What is happening?" So she goes inside, and she is looking for a maybe a tiara-looking ring.
Thank you, Robin Mag and I'll Never Tell 3, for supporting us through our Patreon. If you want to support our podcast as well, you can head over to our website, mxpcrew.com, where you can find our Patreon link on the very first page. We offer shoutouts to our patrons, as well as behind-the-scenes information and monthly stickers. You can also find us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr for all your social media needs. If you like our show and have been thinking about podcasting yourself, I highly recommend starting on Buzzsprout. MXP started on YouTube, and let me tell you, it was extremely difficult uploading 1 to 2 hour long videos at a time in a timely manner. But working on Buzzsprout has been insanely helpful and fast. Buzzsprout helps you list your podcast in every major podcasting platform, as well as provide super affordable monthly payments. I totally forget that I'm paying for it because of how cheap it is. You even get a free, great-looking, pre-made website, audio players that you can drop into other websites, and my personal favorite part, detailed analytics to see how people are listening. If you follow the link in the description and sign up for at least 2 months, not only do you get a $20 Amazon gift card, but you will also be supporting our podcast as well. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next episode.